Hello everyone, this is Jennifer Baker with Super EZ Forex and B for University. I just wanted to make a super quick video kind of going over some of the trades we took last week, or maybe more accurately looked at last week, and then of course giving you an opportunity to possibly take advantage of these two new setups that are currently happening as we speak. So the setup of this, I'm hoping to just do this in like 20 minutes or less, might be 30. Let's see how quick I can talk and get this done. But the setup is going to be, I'm going to give you these two trades. I'm going to hope that you not only watch them for the next couple of days, hours, weeks. These are swing positions. See how they play out. See if you would have got the pips. See how much those pips would, equal to your bank account, right? And then of course I want to go over the trades that we discussed last Tuesday and just see how they're performing. See if they have room. See if there's a new entry, and just kind of do that. So for starters, we have USD CAD on our chart, 4-hour time frame. As you can see, USD CAD. Beautiful simplicity signal, and what's better is we have this kind of almost crown formation, this huge amount of consolidation. Price is just simply not breaking out, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere, right? It's not budging. We did get a signal here, and my rules are pretty simple. We did start moving in the right direction. Now we came down, obviously we're failing to make a lower low, which makes the signal on this system still valid, at least for my eyes. So keep in mind, this is the 3 o'clock candle, technically speaking, on UTC time. So UTC time, this is going to be June 9th. I'll go to the 1-hour time frame to show you. June 9th, you can see right here it says 3 o'clock because that's the 3 o'clock UTC candle. So coming back here for this purpose and just to kind of the clarity of the view, I'm going to zoom out, make the candles kind of nice and ugly for you. Guys, measured move. So remember, we have to have our stop loss way below structure. We need to give it plenty of room to kind of spring or come all the way back down, right? You're still only looking at maybe 100, 150-ish pips on a swing trade. That sounds stressful. It sounds like a pain in the butt, and I'm sure some people would have plenty of things to say about it. You can also choose peace and decide to let that go. So, sorry for the twitching of my Apple mouse here. Let's see if I can't fix that. My little camera's in the way. So, okay, so let's see. Measuring from where price is currently at. The biggest thing is, guys, we are moving in the right direction. First and foremost, we are breaking a 4-hour fractal as we speak. So coming from where price is currently at, even just simply coming up to structure, that's 345, 48-ish pips. So if you even get half of that, not only did you hit your 1-to-1, but you can get anywhere in these targets, right? So again, great potential trade setup, right? Trade analysis idea, definitely not meant to be construed in any way as a signal. Probably should have went over my disclaimer, but it's in the description anyways. Keep in mind that on a 4-hour time frame, you're going to be going for at least 2 ADR in general, or 4 to 5 times the ATR, right? Depending on the pair and how you're trading. So once you're up 1 ADR on this pair, you should be protecting, scaling out some of your position, or making a decision, and then hopefully letting the rest run. You can pick multiple levels of stop loss based off of structure. If you don't know how to find structure, put fractals on your chart and they'll do well enough. So all of these areas of interest are enough. You'll notice that even from here, where price is currently at, just up to here, that's already 100 pips, guys. 100 pips is definitely not something to shy away at. This move by itself with one standard lot is worth $1,000. Hands free, make a decision once. One standard lot, that's $1,000. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's possible. Obviously, this has a little bit more room. My major target is kind of going to be in between. I never go for the full amount. I try to go for this mid-grade, kind of mid-range amount. So if you were to catch even 260 of these pips at a standard lot, that's $2,600 and some odd dollars. So let's look at this for what it is. Obviously, you need to have an account or leverage to be able to hold that, right? But not a bad trade at all. So my second trade idea for the day is GBP odd. So again, GBP odd, 4-hour time frame. You can see that here and here. You know that today is technically June 2nd in America, but it's June 8th in America, but it's June 9th on UTC. So, take that with a grain of salt. We have a beautiful kind of sell signal here on the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to zoom out, make this extra ugly. I'm going to pop up even another time frame, kind of looking where price is at. We're definitely at an area of interest now. We have some room to even just push down a little bit, right? Not going to dare say this is going to sell forever, but we do want to, catch some of this move to the downside. So 4-hour time frame, zooming in. Nice kind of double top formation, nice M formation. There is some divergence on a couple different time frames as well. Please note we have a double bottom forming, which is kind of an indication we have some room to push up before we take a signal on this. So I wouldn't necessarily enter this trade at this very second. I would definitely wait for it to come up and retest, anywhere in this zone, or I'd be waiting for a smaller time frame re-entry, right? You could use something like my golden strategy that we teach in the morning, or of course you can use simplicity or whatever system that you use on your smaller time frame to kind of confirm your entries. So that's what we're looking at here. We do have 1 hour confluence as well, saying that this is ready to sell. Please forgive these lines. I put these lines here so we could back test the trades from last week. So 1 hour time frame, let's kind of continue. You'll notice again, we definitely have some room to kind of play out this double top formation. Measured move from where price is currently at, right? Judging from the tip, on the smallest side, that's about a 200 pip move. So coming down, looking for that 200 pip move, your target is going to be in and around here. Guys, a 200 pip move is nothing to gawk at. Again, at one standard lot, that's your $2,000, right off the bat. Okay, one standard lot. You can do that in AFX, which is a broker listed within my description. Definitely take a look. It has 2,000 to 1 leverage. Hugo's Way is 500 to 1, but still my favorite broker. You would have to have a much larger account to afford that standard lot, but still very possible. They call it a standard lot because it is the most commonly used trade size. So those are the two setups I'm looking at for the week, two kind of just signals to kind of put out there or trade ideas that you guys can track on your own as you're learning the system or as you're learning to trade. Do your own due diligence on your iPhones or on your charts. Lord knows we don't use Apple, Windows. Only some of us do, but not me, too much. So track this on your MT4, track this on your whatever platform you love best, and see how this plays out. We're not looking to win every one, we're looking to manage these in a way that we're profitable. So having said that, last Tuesday, live on YouTube, we looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, way too many, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trades, right? I don't think we did Ripple, I think we didn't get to it. So what I want to do tonight real quick, I only have 13 minutes, so I better talk really fast, is go over those trades and just see where they're at. So that was recorded, it is live, you can access it, it's yours for the taking. So first and foremost, we talked about our two trades for today. That's USD CAD for the buy, GBP odd for the sell, and that's sitting at the 3 o'clock candle, right? I got that notated and I'll put that in the trade journal. So last week we talked about USD CAD still. It has yet to really pop off, and that's where these ugly lines come in. It's going to make it much easier for me to kind of come through, find the right date. Remember, that was technically the 3rd because of how the next day starts technically at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so we have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But we talked about it on is it the 3rd? No, I think that's the 2nd, sorry. Totally fibbed. So on the 2nd, we know that we're not taking these trades until, there we go. So this is the candle that we talked about that trade, right? It's a 6-2, 3 o'clock. We know that number 1, we did not make a lower low since then. We know that number 2, where are we? Those lines are really tripping me up. Well, we're gonna have to deal with it. We said we wanted to break out of this fractal, right? And we did, that happened here. So judging from this very, very point, saying, hey, we've broken that fractal now. Price did pull back and failed to make a lower low. You got another re-entry anywhere in here from the different strategies. And this moved a total of about 55 pips. So we talk about using the 1 hour time frame and only going for half of the ADR, or potentially two to three times the ATR, which means you hit your target, right? At that point, you should have protected. So that's 55 pips. If you don't know what that equals, and keep in mind we're still in this trade for today too, so we're still looking at this to continue. It's just been playing around a little bit. So we're going to say plus 55 pips. Even if you got half of those at one standard lot, you're looking at a couple $100, potentially. So USD CAD was one of the ones we called. The next one was GBP USD, and we called that, or we discussed that more accurately, as a sell. So man, these lines are tripping me up, but I figured it was easier for everybody if they were already drawn. So please forgive the messiness, if you will. Let's see, so we said, hold on. We were looking right here. This is the candle that we were looking for this trade on. And now I'm going to have to zoom out so we can kind of get a clearer picture overall. That's this candle. Now we're seeing, okay, what did price do in that time frame? So you can see this has been consolidating. This is not a perfect example. This is not our ideal, see everything is perfect and see the system always works. This is honesty. So from this candle, that's June 2nd, 3 o'clock, we said, hey, we would be waiting for a breakout. That happened here. Remember, on the 1 hour time frame, we're going for about half of the ADR. or 2.5 times ATR on any one of these simplicity trades. So do we get it in the first time? Not quite. We come back, we pull back, we still fail to make a higher high. Come back, we move for a total of about 63 pips, right? Not bad at all. That does meet the requirement of half of the ADR, 1 hour time frame, 2 to 3 times ATR, totally good. So that's 68-ish pips, again, with one standard lot. You're looking at about $600-700 that happened with one click of a button, and of course, really good trade management. And that's where something like this would come into play. So we talked about NZD, USD. We were looking at that for a sell too. That was on June 2nd, ta-da. So we said, okay, we said we were waiting for this to break the fractal, okay? And we're only measuring it from there. So from here, remember, we're only going for about half of the ADR, or 2 to 3 times, 2.5 times in general ATR on the 1 hour time frame. Does that play out? Yes, it does, 120-ish pips. That equals, again with one standard lot, about $1,200. So that's one standard lot, one time, one trade. Again, going off the principle that you only got half of that, still not bad, right? This all happened in one little hour last week, last Tuesday night, to kind of give you guys an idea. I hope you guys are keeping track, because Lord knows I am. Just for you guys though. So, gold, 1 hour time frame. Actually, I think I wrote 30 minutes on this. I did write 30 minutes on this, just so I would have good notation. Now again, we're looking for right here. Let's see how this one played out. So this is where we were looking. This is the candle in which we were looking for the signal. We had a 30-minute signal. So to say, okay, we wanted to wait till we broke the fractal. Actually, I think I said we were breaking that fractal live. So I was totally for this trade, totally. But either way, we'll take a later entry. Does this, remember, stop loss is way up here. This does come down enough, but not enough to get out. I'm sure this made everybody cry. But look, we never made a higher high. This moved for a total of 420 pips. And if I zoom out a smidge more, okay, that's definitely not a bad way to be. So this was the candle in which we discussed it. Learning to have some trust in your trades and saying, okay, my stop loss is at or above structure. I know what I'm doing. I can handle this. 420 pips, this one trade would be $4,200. Called live last Tuesday. So this was all live on YouTube the whole night. So that's gold. Wow, there's a lot of these. I'm not going to do this many next time. Odd CAD, let's take a look. We were looking for the buy, okay. We're going to go back to the 1 hour, because the only one we looked at was the 30-minute for gold. So we're looking for June 2nd, 3 o'clock, because of UTC time. So this might be a good example of not a perfect trade. So this is live, this is recorded. Well, more accurately, this one's recorded, but here you go. We talked about 1 hour time frame, odd CAD. We were looking for a buy. That was this candle. So yes, we discussed if we make a higher high, we need to take this trade. So in this case, if I move my crosshairs out of the way, you can see we made a higher high. That's valid, it counts, which means what? That means this one you got knocked out by a stop loss. Period, there's no way around it. This knocked you out. That happens sometimes. Obviously, it does continue again. You can tell that by the evidence dot. We can't always control it. So this is a negative 70 pip loss, right? And we're going to write that down too. And that's okay. We're not afraid of losers. We're not afraid to discuss losers, because they're part of trading. You want them to be part of trading, and when you can't discuss them, well, that says an awful lot. So again, at a one standard lot size, that's $700 that we lost on that trade. So we'll talk about it from all sides of the spectrum. Euro odd, I talked very openly about how I don't trade this pair, primarily because of the way the swap fees work on most brokers, with the exception of AAFX. Nonetheless, we're going to have it up on our screen. Let me come to recent time. Sorry for giving y'all, making you dizzy. This was right here. That was the candle we were looking. Euro odd, we were looking for the sell, right? We were waiting for price to make a lower low from here. So on this trade, guess what? We did not take an entry. And if by chance you held all this time and you continue to hold, you would have won, right? So we looked on this candle. The next few candles did not make a lower low. We do not break structure. So from this candle on, we're going to count that as no entry. So we're going to say no NE, right? Did not activate. Okay, we're not going to count the pips that you could have gotten if you did actually put a pending order, which is something you guys know I'm known to do. Which from there, hold on, this is the candle, 6.3 down to here. This does move your, your 80-ish pips. That does meet half of the ADR for the 1 hour time frame. That does meet 2 to 3 ATR if that's how you're managing it. You should have won that trade, no problem. But we're not going to count it because technically this busted out, made a higher high, and most of y'all would have not taken this. If you did take it, new signal, ta-da, you won. We won't count that in today. We'll keep that as a 0 because it never activated, right? But Euro JPY, let's continue here. So we were looking on June 2nd, on the 3rd. Ta-da, here. I'm getting quicker. So sell, we were looking for a sell on this candle. Sounds crazy, right? But we know we had to either break or wait for a better entry on a different system. So if you have my systems or you have better ways to enter, there's a good chance you would have got in on any of these candles. Assuming that's not the case and you only had what you have available right now in front of you and you took this fractal break, right? Price never comes up and makes a higher high. This moves for a total of 80 pips. So again, off of a standard lot, that was already your $800. Sorry if my math is a little wrong, guys. I've been trading mostly cryptos and indices and having trade managers do all this, so please forgive me, but yeah, you get the point. So that's a total of 80 pips. Again, a total of about $800, right, depending on what lot size you're using. Not a bad way to be at all, right? If it does not come to a higher high, you should have protected it 2.5 times ATR or half of the ADR, right? That's super, super easy to do, not hard at all. Don't have to even be a rocket scientist to figure it out. So GBP odd was on my list as well. This one we had a question mark in terms of, well, we would have waited on this one. We were looking for the sell, and that was on June 2nd, right? At 3 o'clock, we were looking for the sell with the question mark. Knowing, even to this very second, we have never made a lower low. Well, actually, I might have just put my foot in my mouth. Maybe. I might have just put my foot in my mouth. That happens too. Next candle does make a lower low. So in this one, I do have GBP odd sell weighted as my notated moment. I can't exactly tell you what I would have said in that moment live last week because I don't recall. I'm not going to fib, especially when it's recorded and used against me for all purposes. Just joking. Needless to say, still not a bad way. Definitely would not or should not have entered. I'm going to count this as a no active because I have notated that we looked at it but we waited. So no entry on this one. Running that down. And if somebody wants to correct me, by all means, I will dupe that up and fix that accordingly. But you're going to have to go to the recording and you're going to have to find it. So I'm pretty sure we said we waited on that one. Let's go to GBP JPY. Sell. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. We're waiting for price to make a lower low. We don't really get that until way, way over here. So this is multiple days later. So I don't have any other notated when we took a sell or we were looking for a sell as of this candle. Again, if you have other systems, you would have known that you were taking one of these entries based off of a better system, or not a better system, but a different system, a faster system, right? Needless to say, from here, we'd be looking for kind of a break of either here or anywhere in these candles, right? So does this give us enough pips to close? Does that give us enough pips to close? Is that half of the ADR or 2.5 times ATR? Yes, it does. It is enough pips to kind of get you where we need to be. So even from the base of those candles, that's your 30, your 40-ish pips. Totally doable. Granted, that doesn't even happen until many, many days later. So again, this one, are we going to count it as a winner or loss? No, because most of us aren't going to be holding it if you're only taking the breakouts. If you have better ways or faster ways to enter once you get a signal like this, then you're already in way up here. So we're going to count that as no entry either because this didn't happen in the 1, 2, 3, 4 days. It happened 4 days, give or take later. So no entry by 4 days. That was Friday. We should always be clearing our pending orders on Fridays too, guys, if you don't have that habit already. Now you know. NZD-JPY. Let's take a look. NZD-JPY is here. So, I know what I'm looking for, in theory. NZD-JPY on June 2nd, tada, right here. We'd be either A, looking for kind of the re-entry, or waiting for the breakout. Totally up to you guys in terms of how you're trading. Assuming you don't know any other strategies or you don't have a better way to get the faster entry, assuming this was your breakout, do you get enough pips? Yep, that's 730-ish pips, right? Not bad. This happened, as you guys can see, this didn't take 4 days to start playing out. So you guys can, in all fairness, see the difference and know the difference. definitely not a bad way to be. 730 pips with one standard lot. You're looking at about $730, which took you an hour to find. So without bad math in public, I will have that kind of total calculated on the front cover of this YouTube. And that is where I'm going to wrap it up. So again, not looking for perfection, just looking to show you guys that almost every system works with reasonable rules. That Forex or trading is reasonably simple if you are willing to kind of stay the course, right? We have people in our classes who have been to our classes every 2 days for a year who have walked away from their jobs. We have people who have hit their six figures. We have people who have helped their mothers and done the whole nine, right? We have people from all walks of life because they weren't just looking for this, quick fix. They wanted to actually learn and kind of grow with their system. They wanted to stick with something long enough to get good at it. So total, all in all, is 6 winning trades, right? So plus 6 winning. But minus 1 loss, minus, and 3 no entries, right? So 3 no entries. Not a bad way to be overall. Your positive pip count even after your loss, I don't know what it is, but we'll put it at the front of this video as well. If you have any questions, comments, please check the description on YouTube. Please be sure to like and subscribe as we're trying to grow this and get better at our video making. We're good at talking and we're good at trading, but this whole video making, we're working on it. So happy trading, everyone. Take care and God bless.